Hi, my name's Deborah Bloom. I'm a freelance journalist based in Atlanta, Georgia. I cover stories about culture, gender, and the environment. Now, this particular story was published on World Environment Day and was largely the result of a press release that came to my inbox from the United Nations. The press release basically accused the Kenyan government of not doing enough to protect the environmental activists there. There were reports of threats and beatings and people's homes being set on fire, and it mentioned this woman, Phyllis Omido. And as soon as I Googled her, I knew I had to meet her. So I went to Mombasa and I heard her story. Phyllis started working as an administrator at a lead smelting plant in Mombasa when her infant son suddenly got sick. She went to a doctor, she tested him for typhoid, malaria, rotavirus, all came back negative. On a coworker's suggestion, Phyllis decided to test her son for lead poisoning and discovered that there were 5 times the amount of lead that is deemed safe in a child's bloodstream in her son's bloodstream. Now, this lead smelter was situated right next to a very poor village called Owina Uhuru. After Phyllis realized that her son was sick from lead, she wondered about the people in Owina Uhuru. So she tested 50 villagers, and almost all had dangerous amounts of lead in their blood. They were having respiratory issues, women were having miscarriages, their skin would welt up from coming into contact with contaminated water. There was just no doubt that this lead smelter was pumping lead into the village's air, water, and soil. So Phyllis became an activist. She led several protests until the smelter was forced to close, and now she's helping the village sue the government for its failure to regulate the smelter. And the lawsuit's definitely taken a toll on her. She gets death threats consistently, she has to watch her back at all times, but she soldiers on because the people in Owina Uhuru are dying. In fact, 2 villagers that I met in January and included in my story have since died. The village still hasn't gotten much in terms of remediation or treatment. They still live in a toxic environment, and that's why I felt that it was important to cover this disenfranchised community, as well as this daring woman fighting on their behalf, very much at her own risk.